right. Good morning or good afternoon. Today is March the 7th, Monday, March the 7th. All right. For today, we went into USA Test Prep and we worked on changing our yellow magenta dots to green in the domain informational text. Okay. We specifically watched 8 out of 17 videos in RI 8.3. So if you are absent, you need to go into USA Test Prep and you need to work on changing those yellow magenta dots to green. Now, I did it with students in class, but if you are out of class, then that is going to be your responsibility to get that made up on your own time. Okay, when we finish USA Test Prep, we're going to go to your English course in Schoology. You are going to click on third 9 weeks. We're going to scroll down to week 10, March 7th through the 11th. We're going to click on Monday, March 7th. All right, now, in order to do this next activity, you are going to have to watch Ellipsis's video on YouTube. I'm doing this with students in class, but if you are outside of class, this is what you need to click on. You also need to pull up using ellipses correctly the document and open an assignment with Cami. All right, now those that are in class are going to be able to see exactly what we're doing. If you are absent, then you are going to be independent, like doing this independently for the most part. Okay. For those of you that are in class, I'm going to play the video on the TV over here, so you're going to need to pay attention to that. I am going to stop along the way and explain some things. All right. This concept is not necessarily easy, but it's also not necessarily completely difficult. I do need your undivided attention. Okay. If you click on the video and it gives you a sad face, do not forget to click on the ellipsis video in blue up above the sad face. Okay. This video is from Khan Academy and it does explain in detail the point of using ellipses.
Hello. Oh no. So in this video we're going to talk about a piece of punctuation called ellipsis or ellipsis. So what is an ellipsis?
So an ellipsis is a punctuation mark that is actually made up of periods with has two main uses.
Okay.
Use number one.
All right, the first thing you need to know is that ellipsis consists of 3 dots or 3 looking like periods, okay? 3 dots. They serve 2 purposes.
Right, so that ellipsis in the middle shows that you're pausing. So there's a lot of reasons why you might.
All right, so the first reason is that it indicates a pause in speech. Now, when you use an ellipsis, you have to make sure that you have quotation marks included in whatever it is that you're trying to quote. So do you see the quotation marks here in hello ... page, period, quotation marks? If you do not have quotation marks, 3 dots, closing punctuation, and closing quotations, then your ellipsis is not correct. Are y'all following me? Does that make sense?
No. Yes.
Okay. All right. So number 2.
Thinking or whatever the case may be, you can use an ellipsis to show that pause.
And use number 2 for the ellipsis is that it shows the portion of the material.
Why would you take some of the quote out?
So we have here a page of now wizard and orator Albus Dumbledore. He says, "Words are, in my not so humble our most inexhaustible source." If you wanted, you could kind of take out that aside, that in my not so humble opinion.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of space on this screen, so I don't want to write that whole thing. So I can say, words are, our most inexhaustible source of matter.
Oh, okay, so maybe I have a question.
Yeah.
Why do we think why can't you just say words are our most inexhaustible source of matter?
That's a great question. So if I quote someone and I just sort of willy-nilly take words out without indicating that I've taken some information out of the quote, I can make it seem like someone said something totally different to what they actually said, right? It can it can be so easy to misconstrue someone's actual words. So this shows that this isn't exactly what Albus Dumbledore said, but it's the point that I want to get across with my quote.
I think so.
Okay, so I want to reiterate this. When we are writing, okay, when we are writing and we want to use something that someone has said directly and we want to copy it word for word, we must do what in order to do that?
Ellipses.
No, we must cite what it is that we want to copy word for word. If we do not cite what we want to borrow word for word, what illegal activity are we?
Plagiarism.
We are plagiarizing, okay? And it is illegal to plagiarize. Now, let's say that you want to cite something, but it's like an entire paragraph, but you really don't need that whole entire paragraph to make whatever it is that you're wanting to cite relevant or to add to whatever it is that you're trying to get across, okay? We can omit words. Now, the way we omit words is we still make sure that we put our original quote in quotation marks, use the ellipsis, put a period, and close the quotation marks. Okay? I'm going to show you, using these examples on the board, exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? The biggest thing you need to do is to pay attention to, you have to have quotes. You have to have a space before the ellipsis begins, a space after the ellipsis, and it has to close. Okay? So, all right, that's what we're about to look at. Okay, so if you're looking at number 1 up here on the board, okay, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more so that you can see it. All right, it says, I want you to put your highlighter on. Okay, put your highlighter on here. Now, do we have quotations opening and closing?
No.
Yes. All right, so we have one aspect. Now, I just got out of my mouth telling you that you have to have a space at the beginning of the ellipsis and before the word or after the ellipsis. Is there a space between this dot and the D?
No.
No. Okay, so there is no space there, or I'm going to say there should be a space between the third dot and the D. Okay, yes, you have to write it. There should be a space between the third dot and the D. Okay? Now, we did close this quotation, but everything that we need for this to be correct is not there. So is this ellipsis correct or incorrect?
Incorrect.
All right, it is incorrect. So I'm going to put a T for text box. And I am going to type in here incorrect. Now, not only have I told you that it's incorrect, I've also told you why it is incorrect and what to do to fix it. Okay? All right, let's look at the next one. According to the news, comma, I want to put my highlighter back on. All right, overall, I have my opening quotes, okay? I have 3 dots with adequate spacing where it needs to be. All right, I have space. I have space. Okay, now I'm looking to see if I close my quotes, and I'm looking to see if I have punctuation. All right, now this is according to the news. Okay, so according to the news, overall crime rates in the city have decreased by 10%. Now, you know, if the news is talking about crime rates, that they're going to talking about a lot more than just has it decreased by 10%, right? So what this is an omission. Okay, this one is an omission of words. We shortened what is being said. Does that make sense? So on our Khan Academy video, it is a number 2. Shows that a portion of quoted material has been taken out. All right. Now, are all of my quotes where they need to be? Yes. Okay. I have a quote at the beginning. I have a quote at the end. Do I have 3 dots?
Yes.
Do I have spaces in between the first dot and the last dot?
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have appropriate punctuation at the end of the sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
Does the punctuation come before the quote closes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So is this correct or is this incorrect?
Correct.
All right. This one is going to be
Ellipsis.
correct. All right, that one is going to be correct. Okay, I'm going to look at the next one. I'm going to have to zoom out just a little bit. Okay. All right, it looks like Tina, ellipsis, John, ellipsis, and Angie will be at the party. Now, this is what kind of sentence? Is this a simple sentence, a compound sentence, or a complex sentence? A what? It is a simple sentence. Okay. I am doing a list of things in this sentence. Why do I need ellipses here?
Tina and John. And you need commas.
I don't need commas. I don't need ellipses. I need commas. Now, first of all, not only do I need commas, if I were going to be using ellipses, tell me why what is here is wrong. It doesn't have a what? All right, it doesn't have a space. Okay, so even if I did need an ellipsis, this is wrong because it does not have a space. But for listing purposes, I do not need ellipses. Instead, I need a comma. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to my drawing tool and my insert line, and I'm just going to put an X over these. All right, I'm going to put an X. I do not need that. Instead, all I need is a comma. All right, I'm going to replace that with a comma. All right, is everybody with me? Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so you need a comma there. Now, is this correct or is this incorrect? Is this incorrect? Because it uses ellipses instead of commas. All right, Marty might graduate early. He hasn't decided yet. Now, we have 2 independent clauses here. All right. Can somebody tell me if I have 2 independent clauses, what type of sentence I have?
Compound.
Compound, good. Okay, independent clause, and that gives me a compound sentence. Okay, this is not new. All right, independent clause, a compound sentence. Now, what is my subject in Marty might graduate early? Marty is my subject. What is my verb? Graduate. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put action verb. All right, now, what is my subject in the second clause?
Decided.
He. All right, what is my verb? Has decided is my verb. Not is going to be an adverb, okay? All right, now when I join 2 independent clauses together, I have 2 options to do so. What are my options in joining an independent clause? 2 independent clauses, what?
Brackets.
I can use a comma, and I can't just use a comma because if I just use a comma, it's a comma splice. If I put a comma along with a CC, what is a CC? Coordinating conjunction. All right, fanboys. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so, okay? Or I can simply use a semicolon. All right, so what I need to do here is I need to mark out these dots because an ellipsis is not the place to put a dots to combine 2 independent clauses. That is not okay. All right, what I do need to do is either put a semicolon here or I need to put comma but for this one. One or the other, but not both. Okay? Does everybody understand? All right, so is this one correct or incorrect?
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
I'm so smart.
All right, look at the next one. I'm going to have to zoom out just a little bit more. Huh? It was just making sure you know that you are able to understand that that's two independent clauses. All right, on the radio, they reported, comma, after much debate, ... the legal driving age will remain at 16. All right, so I want to get my highlighter. Do I have my opening quotes?
Yep.
All right, I have 3 dots. Do I have adequate space in between these dots?
Yes.
Yes. All right, do I have appropriate punctuation at the end of the sentence?
Yes.
Do I have my closing?
Yes.
All right, now I want to make note of, it says on the radio, okay? So again, this is like a news broadcast. You understand that if they talk about a debate about the driving age, that there is going to be a lot more discussed than just the legal driving age will remain at 16. This again indicates that it is a number 2 here on Khan Academy, shows that a portion of the quoted material has been taken out. Are you with me? Okay, so do I have everything here that I need for this one to be correct? Yes. All right, so is this correct or is it incorrect? Correct. All right. Searching the room, Leo mumbled, "Where could I have put it? ... All right, now we're going to go back to our highlighter. Okay, I want you to go back to your highlighter. Now, do I have adequate opening quotations?
Yes.
Do I have 3 dots that are spaced out? Do I have appropriate punctuation? Do I have closing quotations? All right. This says Leo mumbled, "Where could I have put ... Now, if you look at our Khan Academy video on the TV, number 1 indicates a pause in speech. Number 2 shows that a portion of quoted material has been taken out. Which category does this fall into, 1 or 2? 1. Okay, we're indicating a pause in speech. All right, it is a number 1, and I'm going to write out here beside this or type into it. We are indicating a pause in speech. All right, I want you to type that. You need to know this. We are indicating a pause in speech. Now, even though we're only indicating a pause in speech, is this written correctly or incorrectly?
Correct.
It is correct. So I'm going to type out beside it, correct. All right. The Second Amendment declares it is the right of the people to keep and bear arms. All right. Do we have opening and closing quotes?
Yes.
All right.
But
Yes.
there ain't no spaces though, so.
All right. There is a space here. Okay. There is a space. All right. And it has 4 dots, but is one of them counting as punctuation for the end of the sentence?
Yes.
Okay, so 1 counts as punctuation. All right, 1 counts as punctuation. So if you look at it in that nature, you have 3 ellipses and 1 period. Is this correct?
No.
Yes.
You know what we talking about? I'm playing the game.
All right. 4 dots. 1 counts as punctuation, so that means that you have 3 being used as ellipses. 3 being used as ellipses. Okay? All right. The last one. When I asked Juan if he would If he would take out the trash, he replied, I'll get back to you. Now, do we have... All right, go to your, markup. Okay, do we have opening quotes?
Yes.
All right, do we have 3 dots?
Yes.
Do we have adequate spacing in between the M and the I? All right, now, do we have a period closing our sentence?
Yes.
Do we have ending quotes? Yes. Okay, so this indicates a 1 or a 2 for our Khan Academy video. A 1, a pause. Okay, this indicates a pause in speech. So is this correct or incorrect?
Correct.
All right. You need to turn in, submit. Turn in, submit. Turn in, submit. Turn in, submit. And when you have gotten everything turned in and submitted, then you may go to break. All right, when you have everything turned in and submitted, you may go to break.